Hi everybody, it's Sunday, May 23rd, 2010. Thanks for stopping by. I've got just a quick little comment I want to make about Thunderful's statements about victory of the Draw Mohammad campaign, which I hear had about 9,000 participants. Now, Thunderful still has about 90,000 subscribers, 92, 93,000. I'm not sure what the number is. A very disappointing number. A number which speaks volumes about just how emotional and irrational and racist many atheists, not Christians, but atheists, actually are. That 100,000 people could hear his blatant, obvious calls for genocide and his blatant, obvious attempts to categorize all Muslims as in the world as being exactly the same and guilty and bad. And for only a few thousand of those people to reject that message and unsubscribe from Thunderfoot, that is a huge indictment against the atheists who follow Thunderfoot and people like him. I have to say, I am so ashamed to be an atheist because of these people. I mean, it really makes me feel bad and ashamed for our community. That, I mean, if you could call it that, maybe it's not even a community at all, but I feel kind of shamed by this whole thing and kind of disappointed in the people who I thought were like me. Maybe they're not really like me after all. But it's very disappointing that only a few thousand of those people unsubscribed. Now, so he still has 90 something thousand subscribers, and out of those people, 9,000 actually drew Mohammed pictures, which is actually a pretty low response level. And I think that also is rather telling just how inconsequential this whole thing is. Now, I'd like to point out that simultaneously, while all these people were complaining about Muslims supposedly infringing on their freedom of speech, Israel was denying Noam Chomsky and his daughter entry into the West Bank, which is supposed to be a Palestinian territory, because they did not like what he had come to say. So here you have an ongoing, brutal military occupation, a military dictatorship of other people's land. Okay. And you have a government which is breaking practically every single word of the Geneva Conventions and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Every single clause broken on a daily basis. Okay, and you have this government denying a Jewish person and his daughter, who is a Zionist, by the way. Not that kind of Zionist, but some sort of Zionist. Okay. They denied him entry into the West Bank because of what he was planning to say. And this was in the news. I don't know if it was on television, but I certainly saw it in several different places on the internet. So I would think that these atheist people, they have the internet too, right? These Thunderflock people, they have the internet. They must have heard something about this, but they didn't care. They didn't say a single word. They're not trying to, start huge campaigns against Israel because of the denial of free speech, which is much more concrete and tangible than anything that ever happened to Matt and Trey, as a result of one guy on a website posting something that he claimed was not even a threat, and then Viacom getting scared and censoring Matt and Trey. Okay. It's so absurd and ridiculous. You know, it's to the point where you have to say, okay, anybody who believes in this stuff is acting on faith. They're not acting on reason. They're acting on faith. They believe what they want to believe in order to excuse their hate and violence and bigotry. Okay, that's what this is all about. It seems like to me, I mean, the evidence is just so overwhelming. And when you go to videos where people are talking about burning down mosques, hanging Muslims, throwing them into volcanoes, and talking about drawing Mohammad in the most weird, despicable ways possible as an affront to Muslims, if you don't know what that is, I have to say it's because you really don't want to know. Okay? There's just no way you could not know what that represents. And so my final point on Thunderfool and his so-called victory. Okay, what was his victory? He convinced a military dictatorship which we prop up and support in Pakistan, a military dictatorship where there is no freedom to begin with. Okay, he convinced them to ban several internet sites like Facebook where these people are doing this nonsense. Okay, so that is his victory. His victory consisted of convincing a dictatorship which his government supports to take away internet access from other people. So congratulations, Thunderfoot. You just deprived millions of people of websites which they want to use every day. You know, think about that for a second. What if somebody in Bangladesh convinced our government to take away your YouTube and your Facebook? Wouldn't that be even worse than them taking away your little cartoons on Saturday morning, Thunderfool? Wouldn't that even be worse than them taking away your cartoons, them taking away your little websites? You know, and those people didn't have any choice in this. Those people didn't have any choice whatsoever. They didn't start it. They had nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. And they are the ones being punished. And you call that a victory. It kind of shows just what sort of a person you are, doesn't it, Thunderfool? Thanks for watching.